It's been so much going on in the news today, or should I say yesterday? um, today is the 20th, November the 20th, and we're going to discuss, as you can read, Diddy emergency hearing that was held yesterday. And we're also going to discuss Diddy's accuser, Diddy's accuser lawyer, should I say Tony Busby, being sued. And hello, Susan. Hello. Thank you for coming in. I am so late. And also, we're going to talk about Trump new nominations continue, and also the new headlines on Matt Gaetz. Okay, and thank you for coming in, Susan. Oh, hello, Mrs. Shamrock. Thank you so much. Mrs. Shamrock, I know you will pull up. And thank you so much, Susan, for coming in. And like I stated, look, we're going to talk about Diddy. Yes. We got to start it. We got to start it off about Diddy. But before we start, I got to read the fair use. Hello, Joy. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Now, you guys, my apologies for coming in so late. My apologies for coming in so late. Now, I'm going to read the fair use. I'm doing great, Susan. Thank you for coming in. I'm going to read the fair use copyright disclaimer to cover myself and cover you guys, okay? Because it's a lot we're going to talk about today. Let's begin. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. I was late, okay? I was late. But I just have a question. What is going on? Like, really, what is really going on? Because it seems like it's so much going on in the news today when it comes down to Diddy, when it comes down to even in the Trump world. Donald Trump has been nominating all of these various candidates. Mrs. Shamrock says, Channel no, all opinions are welcome. Please be respectful. Yes. Please be respectful. Please. It is so much going on, and I just want to make sure I state this and I notate this. When it comes down to Diddy, I'm just lost with words. Why? Because it's kind of odd that someone like Diddy, he is being, at this point, his constitutional rights have just been disrespected. I mean, he had, let's just break it down, because I wanted to talk about comparing Diddy to this gentleman right here, who Donald Trump nominated for Attorney General. Okay, because I really believe he needs to have some accountability as well as what's been going on within his life. And I talked about him, this gentleman right here. Okay, Matt Gaetz. Okay, Attorney General. Why am I putting him and Diddy together? Because it seems as if, and it could just be me, you guys. Hello, Narendra. Thank you for coming in. It seems to me that, and I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be impartial. But it seems like all of these nominations that Donald Trump has been putting out as far as nominating in his administration, it seems like it's more so who supports him. Okay, more so than experience. And Mrs. Shamrock says Gaetz is not going to get confirmed. I hope not. I really do. And Narendra says politics. Hello. Chief says top of the morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Chief. Yes, top of the morning. Lord says, can y'all saw what Biden just did? What did he do? Hello, Life with Chia. Thank you for coming in. Yes, good morning, you guys. What was it that Joe Biden did, Lord son? What did he do? Chief says Matt Gaetz looks like Jack Nicholson. Hello, you guys. Thank you for coming in. Please hit that like button. Yes, you're not late life with Chia. No, you're not. We are talking about, I'm just trying to see where to start because it is so crazy, okay? Because with in the words of, okay, someone stated that Chief stated that Matt Gaetz looks like Jack Nicholson. Okay, Jack Nicholson. We might as well just call him Jack Nicholson at this point. Okay, and it's no disrespect to the real Jack Nicholson. It's no disrespect. No, no, no. Okay, but Matt Gaetz, he is the real cat with 9 lives. Why? Because someone needs to talk to Donald Trump immediately and beg him to please, in the name of all the gods of all the worlds out there, please remove this man, okay, as far as you can. Why? Because he is still being put out there, and it's like information to verify, okay, that he has been, the allegations dealing with the S allegations, okay, with women, okay, with prostitutes, okay, is coming out allegedly. It's looking like that. Why? Because according to ABC News, and we're going to talk about it because I'm a little bit frustrated right now with the Trump administration, right? I'm a little bit frustrated. Why? Because it's like this man right here, Matt Gaetz, and I'm going to put it out there. This man right here, he makes, I got to show it, ladies and gentlemen. He makes this man look like God, okay? And yes, I took it there. Matt Gaetz, okay, who Donald Trump has nominated for Attorney General, he makes Diddy look like a saint. And I'm so serious. And I'm going to show you why I say Diddy is looking like an angel, okay? Literally an angel compared to this gentleman right here, Matt Gaetz. It doesn't make sense. And I'm going to go back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Joy says, at Chief, I can't unsee that now. And Joy, you're gonna actually see in a minute even more why people are saying, like what Chief's saying in the comments, why Matt Gaetz looks like Jack Nicholson. I'm gonna actually show you. I'm gonna actually show you why. Okay, here we go. Even more of a reason. Even more of a reason why I can concur with Chief. There might be a similarity with, maybe, I don't know. He's always having his mouth open. Okay, this is Matt Gaetz. Now, we're looking at. Now, there has been some more headlines with Matt Gaetz. I talked about him yesterday, okay, and I thought that we were not going to talk about him anymore. I thought we was going to move forward, right? Okay, but it seems like we cannot move forward with this. Mrs. Shamrock says, IMO, Trump nominated him in order to stop that report. I don't think Trump ever believed he would get confirmed. And see, I'm going to say, this is why I don't know who Trump has in his circle, because at this point, he has people around him that are still speaking positive of Matt Gaetz. They're still speaking positive of Matt Gaetz. And we're going to break it down why I say, what you just stated, Mrs. Shamrock. I'm going to pin that. Okay. And shout out to you guys. Please hit that like button. First, we're going to talk about, yes, Matt Gaetz first, because I really believe he makes Diddy, yes, we're going to talk about Diddy. He makes Diddy look like an angel, okay? Now, as you can see, this is according to ABC News. What are you guys looking at? This is the leaked out records that the Ethics of Committee was supposed to release. But when Matt Gaetz got nominated by Donald Trump to be Attorney General, he resigned. When he resigned, the investigation, quote unquote, closed. Today will be the day that there will be a discussion with this committee in regards to this investigation, because look what we have here according to ABC News. What you guys are looking at, and I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, What you guys are looking at, this is actual records of the payments Matt Gaetz has made. Hello, Joshua. Thank you guys for coming in. This is actual records, okay? And as you can see, okay, from Venmo payments. You know, there's a thing called everything that you do, guys, is a paper trail. If you do Cash App, if you do Venmo, if you do PayPal, you know, there is a quote unquote paper trail. And this is what you're looking at right now. This is paper trail, okay? According to ABC News. This paper trail is in regards to allegedly, supposedly, what Matt Gaetz paid two women, okay, over the age of 18, two women that testified, okay, in the most recent investigation, okay, alleging that he paid them in regards to S, I can't say the whole word, S. So we're going to take a look, as you can see, from all the way from May 2018. Look at what he paid these people, or should I say these women. And Chief says, that's why I pay cash money. I'm going to pin that. Yes, cash money. Why? Because when you send stuff on a Cash App, a PayPal, a Venmo, you end up putting a paper trail on yourself. And this is what has happened with Matt Gaetz, okay? And he still to this day denies all of these allegations. He still denies it. And as far as Trump's team, they made a statement in regards to these allegations, or should I say accusations. Okay, they did come out, but I think in regards to Donald Trump, he needs to just, you know, move forward and let this man go. Let him go, okay? Because at this point, I would rather nominate Chief at this point to be Attorney General. Chief, would you like to be Donald Trump Attorney General? I'm serious. Narendra, would you like hello, you guys, anybody in this room, you can be Attorney General here in America, because look who can be it. This person has sent money to women, okay, quote unquote women. Look at the numbers. Car detail, $300, $200, $417 for reimbursement. And then let's look at this one. Sent this woman $300 and attached it with "I love you." If you love me, can you send me $300? I'm just trying to understand. Hello, Doogie. Thank you for coming in. Mrs. Shamrock says, my dog has some free time for the AG position. And Mrs. Shamrock says, that's a mistress. And see, I'm trying to understand. If you look, you sent somebody $300 just to say you love them? Really? You sent somebody $250 just to say hi? You sent somebody $420 just to say, and no disrespect. But look, just take a look. And what? Joy? Come on now. So you're so joyful. You want to send a woman $420 because you feel happy. Chief says, when I go to the store, I don't use my card. And that's what that's what people need to understand. You know, here in this time and age, everything is on record. And look at the checks. This is all according to ABC News. Look whose name is in. Matthew L. Gaetz II. He sent this in 2018, cash, paid to the order of cash, $750. What is going on here? Now, we're going to talk about it. What do records report according to ABC News? As I just showed you guys, it showed emojis like a wrapped gift or a hug. Okay, shows that in the early January of 2019, both witnesses received mirroring payments, similar payments labeled for travel around the time Gaetz allegedly arranged for two women to fly to New York for, as you can see, I can't say that word. Okay, I can't say that word. And at this particular point, to accompany him to an appearance on the Fox News show. What? So he took these women. I just want to highlight this. I want to highlight this. He took these women to Fox News. Fox, what are we doing? What are we doing? And hello, Northern. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. We have to talk about, I didn't want to do it, you guys. I really didn't want to do this. But we have to talk about Matt Gaetz again. And I want to say this. Hello, guys, all 134 of you guys. Thank you for coming in. I would like to nominate all of you guys, including myself, for Donald Trump to nominate us all for any position in the administration at this point. Because if he keeps Matt Gaetz as a nomination, okay, if he keeps this man, we can all get a position at this point. Because this is just ridiculous. And yes, guys, hit that like button. Steven says, what does that stand for? What does that stand for, Steven? And Narendra says, guys, hit that like button and subscribe. Yes. OG Brand, what's up? Thank you so much. OG Brand says, politic. Hey, you silly rabbit. Hey. And yes, this is just messy, okay, with Matt Gaetz. And we're going to continue to move forward. It says the Ethics Committee also obtained a signed check made out to cash and dated October 2018, allegedly from Gaetz for $750 with the memo reading tuition. Okay, so this particular check right here is for somebody's tuition. Now that, you know what, that automatically gives us all a heads up to say that this lady, or whomever he sent this particular check out to, is way younger than Matt Gaetz. Way younger, right? Now let's move forward. Gaetz' name is printed at the top left that you saw for yourselves, okay, of the check, along with an address that was blotted out. It was blotted out. See, Matt cannot hide. He can't hide at this point. Mrs. Shamrock says, how did they get that check? They got that check. You know what? Hey, Mrs. Shamrock, now look. How did they get that check? Hey, ABC News, look, how did you get that check? Allegedly. And the reason I'm trying to be careful with my words, because Trump's team did come back with a statement. They did come back with a statement, and Matt is, you know what, I don't want no smoke. I don't want any smoke. And now let's move forward. It says a check and records that I just showed you guys of Venmo payments that appear to show that then Representative Matt Gaetz paid more than $10,000. $10,000, okay? I want you guys to understand $10,000 of what's been going. Hold on, one moment, you guys. One moment. $10,000, okay? And I want you guys to understand this, to two women who were later witnesses in, I can't say that word, misconduct. Okay, conducted by both House and the Justice Department, according to the documents obtained by ABC News. I'm trying to be very careful with my words, ladies and gentlemen, because this is, you guys know, YouTube guidelines. And thank you guys for coming in. The Venmo records show that between July 2017 and late January 2019, Gaetz, who was first elected in 2016, allegedly made 27 Venmo payments totaling over $10,000. And according to what is seen right here, I'm going to highlight it. Specifically, they're breaking it all the way down. $10,224.02 to two witnesses. These two witnesses are allegedly women. And hello, Unverified. Hello, Junkyard Dog. Thank you so much for coming in. Junkyard Dog says, Graham, Matt Gates' stripper friend needs her college funds. And you know what? That's what I said. If somebody's my friend in here, okay, because people in outside in different countries, if they see this, they would think everybody have money. Okay, anybody who lives in another country, everybody does not pay their friends $750. I just want you guys to know that, okay? Just because I live in America, I want to make sure we're all on the same page, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Just because I live in America, I do not send out $400, $250 just to tell somebody hi. I don't do that. I mean, because I don't have it. I don't have $400 just to tell somebody hi. Okay? Or just tell somebody you make me happy. Now we're going to move forward. Thank you guys for coming in. Now I'm going to continue to read. It says this over $10,000, 224 and 2 cents to the two witnesses, and these were women, okay, who were allegedly over the age of 18 at the time. And I want to make sure I show you guys why they're stating this, because there was another allegation there was another investigation prior to this investigation. And we talked about it yesterday, okay, because the last allegation or investigation that they ended up closing, okay, Matt Gaetz, he dodged that one like a cat with 9 lives, okay. The last investigation, I want to show it to you guys. He dodged, okay. The last one, look, okay, it was because just like this one, misconduct, illicit drug use, accepted improper gifts, sought to obstruct government investigations of his conduct. Okay, that was the first investigation, but they ended up closing it, right? And this particular investigation, the first one, it was all in regards to connections with his friend. If you guys can remember, we talked about this gentleman, Joel Greenberg, okay, who was a tax collector in Florida, one of his associates. And they alleged through his cooperation, Joel Greenberg's cooperation, okay, that him as well as Matt Gaetz, they would be in Florida, okay, and this is allegedly now, but Joel Greenberg, he testified, okay, he did a plea deal with his 33 criminal counts, okay, and now he's serving 11 years of federal prison time, okay, all from his cooperation. It was that serious. Now, my thing is this. Why isn't Matt being held in some type of, I'm not saying lock him up right away, but there needs to be some type of indictment, some type of quote unquote, I want to be quote unquote, fair, because I don't want no smoke. But my thing is, how is it somebody like Matt Gaetz can continue to dodge and get away with things? And all the way to the point where he's about to be Attorney General, ladies and gentlemen. I want people to understand that he is about to be the Attorney General. And just like that, I mean, all his problems supposedly will go away. Why will his problems go away? We have to remember the Supreme Court of Justices when they implemented that rule called Supremacy Clause, right? Because that is why everything has been held or postponed, even in Donald Trump's case, right? With his 4 trials, even with his sentencing, okay, in New York of the 34 counts that that they said he was guilty for. So this is why Matt Gaetz, in his case, he needs to be just removed before he even gets in, because I really feel that this time, if they do not remove him, if Trump does not remove him out of this situation as far as being nominated for quote unquote Attorney General, he will end up not, being scot-free like he's been doing. I'm serious. Because how is it you have the proof right now? And I showed it to you guys. These are records, okay? According to ABC News, that was obtained by them. These are the records, some of the records that Matt Gaetz did not want you guys to see, or did not want us to see. That is why when Donald Trump nominated him, okay, he nominated him last week to be Attorney General. Matt Gaetz, what was his response? He hurried up. And hey, Kuma Boy, thank you for coming in. Shouts out to Kuma Boy. Thank you for coming in. He hurried up and resigned. And I want people to understand that. Why did he resign? Because he did not want us to find these records. He did not want these records to open up. He did not want the investigation to go through, okay? Because as you can see, with Venmo payments, it has his name from and to, and these names are blocked out to these two women. Car deductible, $300 he paid for one person, a lady. A gift, he paid $200. Reimbursement, $417. Tickets, $437. Refreshments, $400. Just to tell another lady, I love you, $300. These are things that this person right here, okay, that people are in the chat room are calling, Jack Nicholson. No disrespect to Jack Nicholson. No disrespect, okay? I think Jack Nicholson looks better than him, okay? Because Jack Nicholson's not in no news, okay, for accusations and allegations such as this, okay? But it's making me wonder what is really, really going on. Now, we're going to move forward. The payments, which sources said were displayed during closed-door testimony, range from $100 to more than $700 each. Descriptions in the notes section for some of the alleged Venmo payments from Gaetz included labels such as gift, car deductible, refreshments, other entries, okay, referenced as travel. One listed payment for flight and phrase such as extra for you. House investigators have subpoenaed. This is how they was able to get the records. Okay, now how ABC News was able to get, that's a different story. Okay, House of Representatives had subpoenaed Venmo for Gaetz records and had been showing these two witnesses, asking if they were for S or drugs. The records and payments were shown to the witnesses. The two women testified, and they verified that they were from Gaetz and it was for S. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now we're going to talk about Donald Trump. What's his statement? What is his statement out of all of this? John says, here we go again. Yes, here we go again with Matt Gaetz. This is just sad. This is sad. And how is Trump trying to cover himself? Okay, they had to hurry up and release a statement. And his spokesperson, quote unquote, said the Justice Department received access to roughly every financial transaction Matt Gaetz ever undertook and came to the conclusion that he committed no crime. See, there they go, speaking up for him. These leaks are meant to undermine the mandate from the people to reform the Justice Department. These are baseless allegations intended to derail the second Trump administration. See, I think that statement that could have been left alone. I'm serious, because this is just, oh yes, I can, yes, and thank you so much for coming in. This is Politics Now. I want people to understand when it comes down to this statement, I don't think this is a good light for the Trump administration as far as Matt Gaetz. I want Trump to I want him to do better than this. Okay? I really do. Because it is some people that, well, there are some people in the nominations that he's made I do agree with, right? I do agree with. But when it comes down to Matt Gaetz, it just makes my skin curl. It's just I can't agree with it. I cannot agree with that. Now, the next person that I'm going to talk about, why I say Matt Gaetz, is he makes everybody looks like a saint. Everybody looks like a saint because Matt Gaetz has been in so much allegations and so much to the point I'm trying to see why has he not been held accountable, at least if nothing else, at least, an indictment. I'm so serious. It's on that level. Why? Because we have actual records that has been leaked, okay, of checks, okay, of actual payments, Venmo payments. And as far as his experience to be attorney general, does he have the actual experience to be an attorney general? Marjorie says you need to look at Tulsi too. And thank you so much, Marjorie. I'm going to highlight what you just said. Okay. And we did talk about her, and she's one of those people. And Marjorie, I'm going to ask you, do you feel Tulsi is a good candidate? Because in my personal opinion, Tulsi Gabbard, I have the utmost respect for her, in my personal opinion, right? She's one of those people I can respect, right? I can genuinely respect. When we're comparing it to this person, Matt, no. And I'm going to show who we're talking about that Marjorie mentioned in the chat. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. This is Politic Graham speaking. And the person that we're talking about is Matt Gaetz. And Tulsi Gabbard, yes, is a great candidate. I personally feel he should have nominated her to be Secretary of Defense, but a lot of people are speculating that maybe they did not give her that position based off of her gender. I'm not trying to be, stereotypical, but that is what some people are speculating. Consider what the position that she was nominated for. And I'm going to actually show you guys who we're talking about one moment. And thank you guys for coming in. This is Politic Graham. I really do feel at this particular time that Donald Trump is better than Matt Gaetz. He's better than putting his name associated around Matt Gaetz. He is better than that. I feel that with somebody like Tulsi Gabbard is more of a winning team. Okay, we'll say it that way. And I'm trying to actually find where because I have already typed her up, Marjorie. Okay, I've already typed her up. Give me one moment. I'm going to show it to you guys. Give me one moment. One moment, you guys. So the person that we're talking about right here, according to what I pinned in the message, Marjorie, if you're still there, please hit that like button. Please put it in the chat. Thank you guys for coming in. Now, this beautiful, strong woman right here is Tulsi Gabbard. Donald Trump nominated her to be the director of national intelligence. I do think she is a great candidate for that. Okay, let me correct myself. And Marjorie says it's not about that she's pretty lady. She is to end with the fascists. Now, Marjorie, I would say this. Have you looked at the whole look? Have you looked at all of the nominations so far? Okay, because I understand where you're going with this. I do understand where you're going with this, but we have to take a step back and really ask ourselves, what other options do we have at this point? We cannot just remove Donald Trump altogether and bring back Kamala Harris. We cannot remove Donald Trump and bring back Joe Biden. I mean, so what is the point? I'm just trying to understand, because if we're talking about, and the reason I said this beautiful lady, because women, including Kamala Harris, they have been pushed aside just because they feel that women are not smart enough, they are not emotionally intelligent enough. So that is why I said what I said. I did not literally mean, Marjorie, okay, quote unquote, Tulsi is she got in the nominations just because of her looks. I did not literally mean that, okay? I think everybody in this room is intelligent enough to know that. I did not literally mean that women are given positions just because of how they look. I literally did not mean that. I did not mean that. But let's just be honest. Let's just be very honest right now. Okay? Look at what you have. Okay? Look at the options that you have. And when I say look at the options that you have, we can go and look at the list of the candidates, of the nominations that Donald Trump has made. I want people to understand that. Look at your options right now, right? Look at your options. I mean, for Jesus Christ, I mean, most of the people that Donald Trump has nominated, they were in his administration the first time. I'm just being honest. Case in point, this gentleman right here, Tom Homan. We talked about him yesterday. Okay, he was in Donald Trump's administration the first time. Okay. I'll give you another one since I'm just being honest. Heck, Susie Wiles, okay, who's the first female to be the chief of staff of the White House that he nominated. Okay, she's been in politics ever since Ronald Reagan. Come on now. So let's not do that. Let's be better than that. Okay? I love this platform. I respect everybody. But I don't want to just call names. Okay? You call Tulsi all these names, but my thing is this, and I spoke about this, we have to unite. Okay? Because we cannot lift Donald Trump, okay, and move him. Can we lift him up? Can we bring Joe Biden back? Can we do that? Let me know. Please let me know that. Can we lift him up, Donald Trump? Can we lift him up and bring Barack Obama back? Okay, if we're going to do that, just bring Barack Obama back. Bring him back into the hot. Or better yet, while we're at it, and I'm sorry I had to take it there. But I'm looking at the comment that is in the chat room. I'm serious. Like, come on. I never said that Donald Trump nominated, okay, Tulsi Gabbard because she looks pretty. No, the reason I said what I said is because people tend to think certain women are chosen based off of their looks. I never said that, but I had to put it out there that this is a very strong woman. Tulsi Gabbard, she has had 20 years, okay, in the military. Okay? She has been out there. As a matter of fact, she's still on the reserve list. Come on. I would never do that. I have too much respect for you guys. I have too much respect for women. I have too much respect for Americans. Okay? To even go there with anybody on that level. And yes, I took it there. I did. And thank you guys for coming in. Now, I want to say this. Okay? Before I move forward, I would like to say this. We have to move forward when it comes down to dealing with what we have at this point. And what do we have? Okay, I just want to just be very fair with this. What do we have at this point, ladies and gentlemen? We have Donald Trump that won the election as 47th president. That's what we have right now. That is the energy that we have. Okay? And for this lady right here, okay, people, yes, she's not perfect. Tulsi Gabbard is not perfect. But who is? Nobody's perfect. But when it comes down to nominating somebody such as this gentleman right here, Matt Gaetz, to be Attorney General? Oh, no. Never. Oh no, 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 unacceptable. And the only reason I'm saying what I'm saying as far as it being unacceptable at this point is because it's too much that has been coming out about Matt Gaetz. And Donald Trump is not even officially in office. He has not even had the inaugural ceremony. It's still 2024. Joe Biden is still in. Like, let's just stop. Let's just really, really stop. But we do have a voice to not get him in. Why? Because the attorney general position has to be approved by, the Congress, right? So I have to be a voice, just like we all are a voice in here. When it comes down to Matt Gaetz, with all these allegations, and I'm going to be honest, he should have never been in office. I'm being honest. And we talked about this last live. We did. So to answer your question, Marjorie, this all due respect, I do respect that you came here and had your opinion, but everybody has an opinion, just like I have an opinion. But the difference between my opinion and your opinion is I base it off of facts. And the fact is, this man should have never been in office. The facts is, based off of what I have shown you guys, you see it for yourself. You see all of these records that Matt Gaetz does not want people to see. Checks that he has sent to allegedly these two women that said that these payments were for what? I'm strolling down so you guys can see. The two women testified that some of the payments were from Gaetz and were for you know what. I'm trying to be very careful with my words and my terms because this is YouTube guidelines and this is the YouTube streets, okay? And thank you guys for coming in. I'm gonna read the chat now, okay? And like I said, it's nothing personal, Marjorie. I have respect. I respect everybody because you have your opinion, you have your voice, and that's what this page is about, and that is what America should be about: freedom of speech. And thank you guys for coming in. Brian says, Tom, deport them together, Holman. And see, that is the thing. Like, my whole thing is just be a man. Be a man. Be a human. Be a woman. Right? And see, with who Brian has just said as far as Tom deport them together, Holman. Okay, with that particular gentleman that is being talked in the chat. Okay, with him, he has always said his views as far as the deportation goes. He always has said what his views were in regards to deportation. He hasn't changed his views on it. But when it comes down to other people that Donald Trump has nominated, and we're going to talk about it, okay? The next person that I'm really trying to see what is going on with this nomination that I'm about to show you guys is this beautiful lady right here, okay? Linda McMahon. I know I'm not saying her last name right, but she is the co-founder of WWE, okay, with Vince, if you guys know. Donald Trump made news because he nominated her to be the head of the Department of Education. This lady has no experience. None. No experience to deal with education. She's not like Tulsi Gabbard. Like I said, make it make sense. And this is coming from a person that I'm just like, I'm very impartial. I'm very fair. I'm very straight across the board when it comes down to things. I don't sit there and say, oh, we're vote for this person because they're a certain color. Vote for this person because they are a female. Vote for this person because they are, I don't do that. I go off of what policies I concur with and I move forward. Okay? That is what I go off of. Now, as far as Linda, I don't know why Donald Trump nominated her to be the head of the department. I don't know why. And thank you, Northern Dane. Northern Dane said it best. I'm going to highlight what you said. And I know I'm late in the comments. Northern Dane says, do we have an option? Do you? For real? I mean, serious. At this particular point, I want people to understand. Do we really have an option of who to have as president now? Right? Because according to the electoral votes, Donald Trump won by over 300 electoral votes compared to Kamala Harris' 226 votes. So, do we have an option at this point? I mean, according to some of the people in the comments, I just want to know. I just want to know, do we have an option? Now, with Linda, and I want to actually say this, just to be fair, and thank you guys for coming in. Shout out to Amanda, shout out to Kuma Boy. I want to actually say this when it comes down to who Donald Trump, and I want to actually make sure people understand this when it comes down to education. Okay, Donald Trump nominated, this former wrestling executive to head the Department of Education. And Donald Trump, quote unquote, stated he vowed to what? Dismantle the Department of Education during his White House campaign. Right? And with her, Linda, she's another one that has close ties with Donald Trump before this. Okay? She led the Small Business Administration during Trump's first term. She helped with Donald Trump's 2020 re-election campaign. Okay? And herself, she tried to run in office as a Republican for the U.S. Senate in Connecticut, and she lost twice. And the only thing she has closest to dealing with education is she served on a board in Connecticut for only a year. A year. And she has spent years on the board of trustees, and anybody who knows is, if you want to be on the board, all you have to do is quote unquote have the money, whatever you have, make it shake. That's what makes you go on that board. Okay, because when I did my research with Linda, and there's nothing against Linda, I think Linda is being used as a scapegoat right now, and I think her best bet is to back off and back out, because people are already upset with the fact that Donald Trump has stated his opinions on dismantling the Department of Education and putting it back to the states. Okay. And even his words, he picked her because he wants to make sure that this Department of Education is dismantled. Now with her, she has expressed support for charter schools and school choice, but I need something more than that. And with her, when I say with the money that she has that she shares with her husband, Vince, she is worth over $3 billion. $3 billion. As like I said, she's been friends with Donald Trump for over 20 years. Now, see, here's the controversy, right? Here's the controversy. Donald Trump proposed to shut down the Department of Education, complaining that the agency's budget is too large and that its staff is filled with people that, in many cases, they do not like children. Okay, this is what Donald Trump is stating. And according to this, the Department of Education, that is the smallest of all the cabinet agencies. And in this particular department, okay, Linda's job, okay, if she takes it and the Senate votes for her to hold this position, or the Congress, House Representative Senate, they actually agree to this nomination. The Department of Education, this department is responsible for the distribution of federal financial aid. I'm going to highlight that for education. Okay, and anybody who's been to school here in America, be it trade school, be it regular school, traditional, non-traditional school, you know what this means, federal financial aid. So all of this is looking at being in trouble, right? Supposedly. Also, with the role of Department of Education is collecting this decimating data and research related to schools and prohibiting discrimination in schools. Its funds accounts for less than 10% of the nation's public school funding, which is primarily driven by the state and local taxes. Now, see, this is why Donald Trump is like, well, if that's the case, if it's primarily driven by state and local taxes, he's like, well, why not just bring it back to the states? But see, the thing is, this is what I'm kind of weary about. I'm kind of weary, will the state use the funding like they're supposed to, right? Will they do what they're supposed to? Because, nobody's perfect. He wants to put it back in the state's hand. But if you guys have looked up, like where I live, it's not the best. It's not the best when it comes down to allocating funds. It is not the best. Case in point, Donald Trump, the trial here in Fulton County that is ran by District Attorney Fani Willis. She has mishandled hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, allegedly money, mishandled it, right? So much to the point that she herself has caused Donald Trump's case to be put at halt. So I'm just allegedly, I want to say allegedly. So I use that as an example to say, who's to say what might happen with this quote unquote sending the educational funding back to the states? Who's to say what will happen then? That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm going to scroll down, and this is my question. Should Department of Education be removed and sent back to the states? And a lot of people are very, nervous about that, including teachers, because when it comes down to even the pay, they according to what's going to happen, even with the teachers' pay, the tenureship will be eliminated. Okay, that will be eliminated. They instead of them paying teachers based off of their tenure, they're going to pay teachers based off of their performance. That is the move that the Trump administration is trying to move forward with. So my whole question is, do you guys think that the Department of Education should be removed and sent back to the states? Mr. Shamrock says the local government needs to be better, that puts the responsibility on the residents of that state. I agree. Shanna says, yes, thank you for coming in. Julie says, most of the people I live around have little to no morals. I'm screwed or forced to move, I guess. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Julie, because that's another issue that's coming up. A lot of Americans are leaving America. You're ones who can afford it. Hom says, thank you for coming in. Hom says, yes, tired of the federal government getting involved in everything. The performance-based pay will be a problem, however. And see, these are the things that I'm wondering about. Now, me personally, I feel, because Donald Trump, he did mention, and I do agree with him when he said that he wants the parents to have a choice to be where to take their children as far as schooling goes. So they won't be locked down as far as go to this particular public district schooling or go here. Give them the option. When they have this option, they will have resources available for them as far as maybe they want to do homeschooling. Maybe they want to do private. Maybe they want to do, schooling of that nature. Right? And I'm going to continue to read. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to repeat what you just said. You said, yes, tired of the federal government getting involved in everything. The performance-based pay would be a problem, however. Nicholas says, awesome. Thank you for coming in. God, I hope so. Julie says, I wish I could. Shyster says, bye, Julie. Mrs. Shamrock says, yes, I am all for state rights. And see, this, I don't understand what is the problem. Some people feel like, well, oh my goodness, they're dismantling the Department of Education. But see, people have to understand, like, okay, so how has it really helped? People don't realize how much money is being taken away from taxpayers and not used the way it's supposed to be used. People do not realize that. So Donald Trump, from that aspect, I can concur with, okay, Donald Trump is saying, okay, people are very upset with how the school system is and how it's being handled. So I'm going to give it back to the states. I want them to fully address this and not put so much on us, as far, not us, me, but as far as the Trump administration, as far as the federal government. He wants to put it back to the local. Now, April says, obviously, schools are not teaching now. See, and you're absolutely right. And see, that's why I was going to do a topic about people, if you live here. Now, you guys know what's been going on here in America. There have been a lot of crimes going on at these different schools, right? So much to the point, you have elementary school, you have actual first graders coming to school with things that they're not supposed to have. Okay, they're bringing things from home, okay, that can hurt people. This is what's going on, and this is why parents are very afraid to even take their children to schools here in America, public schools. This is why. So now Trump is like, okay, I see that what's been going on before, it hasn't been working. So let's do it this way. Let's put it back in the state's hand. That's why I asked you guys, should Department of Education be removed or sent back to the states? And based off what you guys are saying in the comments, I completely agree. You know, like, there has been a lot of mishandling with the federal funds. It's been a lot of mishandling. Okay? And I'm going to say this. It should never be to a point where a 14-year-old, and this is what happened in Georgia. I talked about it before. A 14-year-old boy is on the FBI list, okay, off of threats. And when students and staff at the school that he attended reported him, the school did nothing. And what happened because the school did nothing? The FBI didn't do anything. He ended up having a mass, you know what, at the school. Okay? So this is why Donald Trump is saying, okay, let's do it where, okay, let's put it back to the states then. Let's put it back to the states and see how they can allocate these funds. Okay, and if parents do not feel comfortable with their children going to certain districts, or they do not feel they're in a line, let's give them the rights, the options to have other options. Okay, to go to another school outside the district and not be penalized, or better yet, have homeschooling. And then if they have those options, let's be able to help provide them the resources. And I want to state this. They did say that when it comes down to the department, dismantling the Department of Education, they stated that it is going to be millions in the air. Millions in the air. KR says the federal department made sure every kid is in school regardless of situation. So KR, are you against that Department of Education should be dismantled? And that's my question to you, KR. Narendra says, guys, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button. Julie says, I'm an American, and unfortunately that means I'm in poverty. I wish I could leave this nation of woe that don't want me anyway. And see, this is what I want people to understand. This is how you have, people are very tired. They are very tired here. And that is one of the things I feel why Donald Trump ended up getting his position as the 47th president. They got tired of the same thing, and there was no results. Right? There was no results. And when people would ask, okay, the vice president, the current vice president, questions in regards to this, she would give, one mark words and phrases that would not answer the question. KR says, shows how little any of you know. Whoa, KR. Angel says, Trump is law. I'm not going to say Trump is law. I'm not going to say that. But I will say this, Trump is putting it out there, his views. Now, if all this going to pass, I don't know. Because dismantling the entire Department of Education, that's going to be a lot. Why? Because look what happened the day Donald Trump he won, November the 5th. Okay? 3 states, they rejected Donald's. They knew what was coming. They rejected, okay, ballot measures that would have shifted money away from public education. So they're preparing themselves already. The day that Donald Trump was announced that he had beat Kamala Harris. Okay, the 3 states were Kentucky, Colorado, and Nebraska. Okay, they are already getting ready. And thank you guys for coming in. Little Mama says Trump 2024. KR says, unless people can afford it, this just wishful thinking. And you are absolutely right, because some people cannot afford private schools. Some people cannot afford, quote unquote, to have their children homeschooled because they have to go to work. They have to go to work. But, for those that can, it's going to be different. And the reason I say that, it's going to be a different wave if you get it out of the federal government's hand and put it in the state. But the thing is, I want people to understand this. If you put it in the state's hands, right? Now they're going to have to make other positions available. Why? Because certain positions are not available because they depended on the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. to deal with things. But if it is approved by Congress to dismantle the Department of Education, I don't think that's going to happen all the way. Okay. If it is approved, then the states are going to have to come and regroup and make new positions within their states. Okay. That's what's going to happen. But I will say this, when it comes down to the Department of Education, me personally, you guys can tell me, I don't think they're going to completely dismantle the Department of Education because it's going to be very hard. And I say that because when it comes down to look at the state's reaction on November the 5th, you had Kentucky, Colorado, and Nebraska. Okay, they were already rejecting ballot measures. Okay, they're preparing themselves. Okay, so voters rejected efforts in Kentucky, Colorado, Nebraska to strengthen school choice voucher programs in which state funds help foot the bill for parents who choose to forego their local public schools. So the people are already, getting ready, right? So that's why I say I don't think, I could be wrong. But I don't think that the Department of Education is going to be fully dismantled. I could be wrong, though. And thank you for coming in. Shayna says it's wasting money. Ham says, I think teachers will push those things that are linked to their pay. Angel says, Trump well connected. He is. But how? Is it on a bad note, good note, or what? Julie says the fact that another American would say this to another American shows we have a problem in this nation. Hello, you guys. Thank you for coming in. I'm reading the comments. Trump do whatever he wants, period. That's what Angel says. Angel says Trump do whatever he wants, period. Julie says, thank you, ma'am, for this informative video, but this Make America Great has me questioning my whole life. Have a blessed day, everyone. You have a great day too, Julie, and thank you for coming in. I just want people to understand, and Kuma Boy says, you are correct, KR. KR says, trust me, I know. Low-income families don't have a choice to be uncomfortable. Yes, I completely agree. I'm going to pin what you just said, KR. And see, that is why what KR stated in the chat, that is why I don't think the Department of Education is going to be completely dismantled. And one of the reasons I don't think it's going to be completely dismantled is who Donald Trump nominated to be the head of the Department of Education. And it's this lady right here, okay? Vince's wife, okay, of the WWE World Wrestling Association. This is who Donald Trump has nominated to be over the Department of Education. And she's going to have a lot in her lap. Okay, for one, she does not have the experience in the politics. For two, she does not have any experience when it comes down to the education. Okay, the only thing that she has experience is being worth over $3 billion and having the money to be a part of these various boards, that board of trustees that she's been a member of. Okay, so she has that experience. But when it comes down to the experience of education, when it comes down to the experience of teachers, parents, no. Why? Because like I stated, she's worth $3 billion. She didn't have to worry about, her children having the best education and you know what I'm saying, or being low income. No, she didn't have to worry about that. So that is why I think she's going to be pressured. I think even Donald Trump is going to be pressured. But if people know how Donald Trump is, he moves how he moves. But see, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point, because a lot of people are very frustrated and upset. Are very upset at this point of what's going on and how he's moving with even his top 20 core promises. Okay, and the reason I say that is because look who he has nominated. Okay, look at all who he has nominated. I'm going to show one key figure that has made a lot of people upset. A lot of people upset is who he nominated for dealing with the border control. Okay, Tom Homan, right? And I agree, I respect the fact that he's very upfront. Tom Homan, he's a person, I'll say it this way. He says what he means and he means what he says, and he asks questions later, right? He asks questions later. He's not like how some people are, say one thing and do another. He's not. Now, how you feel about it, that's how you feel. But him, he's just on a different level. And the person that I'm talking about, I'm going to show it to you. I'm looking it up right now that I've typed. And thank you guys for coming in. This is Politic Graham. Is this gentleman, trying to look it up for you guys right now. Give me one moment. The person that I'm talking about is not Matt Gaetz. It is not Matt Gaetz. It is Tom Homan. And give me one moment. I was going to show you who I'm talking about, who I'm speaking of. And thank you guys for coming in. One moment. The guy that I'm talking about is this gentleman here. One moment, you guys. Sorry about that. Got to get my stuff together. I apologize. I apologize. Because I want you guys to actually see the gentleman that I'm talking about. And give me one moment. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. The gentleman that I'm talking about is this gentleman right here, Tom Homan. Okay, he's another one that has been in quote unquote Donald Trump administration prior to this this term coming up. Okay, he is a former immigration and customs enforcement director for Donald Trump administration. Okay, he is not new to this. And he has caused controversy because when he was a director of ICE Immigration Customs Enforcement back the first term Donald Trump was president. Okay, I'm just gonna just read it to you guys. He actually stated, and I quote, "Families as a whole should be deported together." This made headlines. Why? Because it played a factor with putting kids in this matter. They had no control over it. So this is just one of the things, right? And the reason with Tom Homan, people with the controversy with him even now, because he's been given a promotion, should say, and this is his role to deal with specifically the border control, the security. People are wondering, quote unquote, as far as the controversy, the price of this mass deportation. Okay, what will be the price of it? Because according to Tom Homan, he stated he hopes to get help with local government in assisting him with this big deportation once officially in office next year, January 2025. But the thing is, who's going to help him? Why, right? Why do I say that? Because you have a lot of states that are already stating they will stand on protecting migrants, be it undocumented or documented. Okay, so my question is, who's going to help Tom Homan? And the reason I say this is because according to what's been going on, cities such as New York, and we talked about it, and states such as Illinois have already hinted on continuing to support the role of being sanctuary jurisdiction. Now, here is Tom Homan's response. He stated he plans on, according to him, he plans on dealing with undocumented immigrants. And the first location that he's going to start are the work sites operations. Okay, because according to him, work site are where people tend to find victim of trafficking and forced labor. Then the next place he would deal with are these sanctuary cities, because according to him, he says sanctuary cities feel like sanctuary cities house illegal undocumented criminals. And he says sanctuary cities are jurisdictions that have policies in place that protect illegal immigrants. And he says because of the cities designed to limit cooperation with involvement in federal immigration enforcement actions. So I want people to understand, like, people like Tom Homan, he does things, he moves and asks questions later, right? But like I stated, when it comes down to being in the position of being the Department of Education that Linda has, I don't think it's going to be as easy, okay, to dismantle the Department of Education. I don't think it's going to be that easy. Why? Because when it comes down to, I'm not saying I'm in agreement with the federal government running it, because I do feel that, people have voted. We vote, right? So give us the opportunity to have our voice, even when it comes down to how we have education in our states, be it in elementary school, high school, middle school, even on a college level. Right? Because federal government can come in sometimes and make matters worse. Okay, I will say that. But we have to understand when it comes down to putting it back to the state, like, what's going to happen? What is going to quote unquote happen at this point? And thank you guys for coming in. Mrs. Shamrock says, KR, that's what Dodge will do. Yes, find the funds by reallocation them from inefficient departments. And I'm glad that Mrs. Shamrock spoke about that. And what he spoke about is, I'm going to actually show that is another department that Donald Trump has implemented. It is controversial. Everything is controversial. Everything is controversial when it comes down to, as they say, a shakeup. And that is what Donald Trump, he is fluffing feathers and making people, feel a little bit, nervous, as I'll say. A little bit nervous. Now, when it comes down to these different departments, I want you guys to see this particular governor of Illinois. He's one of the people that's already upset. He's already, stating that just because Donald Trump is bringing all these people in, as far as nominations go, as far as part of his cabinet, he says, my state is still going to, quote unquote, protect the laws dealing with for women, okay? Safe haven for women seeking, as far as getting rid of, I don't want to say the other word, but he says, you come for my people, you come through me, right? So he's stating this. He did a whole press conference. He's stating like, okay, I see what's about to happen, but I want Donald Trump and I want his administration to know that we are going to actually continue to stand on what we have been standing on when it comes down to advance positive, productive, and inclusive agenda of our own. So in his case, he wants the administration to know we're going to support the LGBTQIA plus community. We're going to support women's rights. We're going to support certain things. And why did he state this? All because of, like I stated, of what has been going on when it comes down to these nominations that Donald Trump has put in as far as his department goes, administration goes. And thank you guys for coming in. This is Politic Graham. Thank you so much for coming in. And I'm reading the comments. Yes, my burnout says mass deportation is cheaper than supporting them for years. Medical service, food, housing, bus expenses are cheap. I don't know about that. B Pat says no, I have not been wrong. No, I have not. And thank you guys for coming in. Journey says, haven't been listening too long. No, for me, Journey, to answer your question, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm pro-Trump and pro-Kamala Harris. I just report the facts, okay? I'm not one of those people that, quote unquote, just say, oh, I agree with everything Donald Trump has been doing. No. Because, see, I know you came in on the back end, because soon as I started this live, I already stated, okay, that this gentleman needs to be removed as far as being on the list of nomination to be Attorney General. Okay? So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm pro everything Trump and I'm not doing that. And pro everything Kamala, pro Democrat, none of that. Right? Because if you would have been in here earlier, you would have seen, okay, these are actual payments in regards to investigation that Matt Gaetz is trying to avoid the public to know. It's trying to avoid even coming up. This second investigation that deals with allegedly paying 2 women. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and say I'm quote unquote, I'm not quote unquote pro this, pro that. I'm not going to do that. And thank you guys for coming in. My burnout says Mrs. Shamrock is right. I completely concur. Nicholas says sometimes, all the time. Journey says I'm excited for the fluffing. Shouts out to Mrs. Shamrock when she spoke about the Dodge department. That's another department that has made headlines. And people, are kind of like a little bit wondering what's to come move forward. But I will say I do agree with that particular decision that Donald Trump made in regards to the Dodge department that will be ran by Elon Musk as well as Vivek. Now, when it comes down to Elon Musk, I will say this, however, I'm kind of weary about him because if anybody saw yesterday, Elon Musk held an event and brought Donald Trump in regards to his company SpaceX. Okay, the launching. He had a launch yesterday. So I'm kind of trying to, wonder about Elon Musk as far as what are his true, motives. But what I can say, I do respect the department, okay, that Donald Trump has implemented for both Elon Musk as well as Vivek. And give me one moment, you guys. I'm trying to find what I put in. I apologize. Give me one moment, and thank you guys for coming in. One moment, please. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to find. Thank you guys for coming in. One moment. All right. I had to find it, but based off of what I pinned in regards to Mrs. Shamrock, she said that is what Dodge will do. Yes, in regards to Dodge, this is a program that Donald Trump has put in, okay, but it still has to be approved by Congress, and that is why he has given Vivek as well as Elon Musk, quote unquote, as far as this particular program. He stated, and I quote, the work of this program shall end by July the 4th of 2026. Why did he say that? Because he knows that it still has not been quote unquote official yet. So he wants to try to go around things. Now, when it comes down to Vivek and Elon Musk, they will be ahead of what he is calling the Department of Government Efficiency. That is what Mrs. Shamrock was speaking about when it comes down to that's what Dodge, DOGE stands for, Department of Government Efficiency, an acronym that is apparent a wink to the dog themed cryptocurrency. Sorry about that, cryptocurrency. Now, when it comes down to Dodge and its leadership will focus on regulating government spending. Okay, so this is why I'm wondering when it comes down to it's going to be some toes. People going to be stepping on people's toes in this administration. I see it's going to get a little messy, right? Because when it comes down to this Department of Government Efficiency, when it comes down to this, they're going to make sure, right? They're going to make sure that things are being handled accordingly when it comes down to what? The government spending. And thank you so much for coming in. And according to Donald Trump, he says, together these two wonderful Americans will pave the way for my administration To what? Dismantle government bureaucracy. So he's planning on slashing excess regulations, cutting wasteful expenditures, and restructure the federal agencies. And in his word, Donald Trump's word, he says this is essential to save America movement. So these are things that's coming. These are things that are in the hopes of Donald Trump's administration. But like I stated, all of this is just nominations. It still has to be signed and approved by whom? Congress. It still has to be signed and approved. So all what we're seeing, these are just nominations. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to read the comments. Journey says, facts are great. Yes, that's what I try to go by. Yasin says, exactly how I feel. Narendra says, people, you do not understand. Unchecked migration would change the whole demography. I'm brain freezing. Be it race, religion, or language. You guys will be a minority in your own country. Candace says housing will become more available and affordable when illegals no longer rent. BPAT says Matt Gaetz was investing. Yes, I think he was investing in something, but I don't want to say it on YouTube. Oh, Nick, thank you so much for coming in. Oh, Nick says KR. About 45 million illegals in here right now. More than 10% of the population gonna go build a country in their own country. Mr. Shamrock says, Cannon, yes, it puts a crazy strain on our economy. And that is why when it comes down to a lot of places, they have been affected by the illegal immigrants, right? Okay, even in New York. And I'm going to play a clip of what Eric Adams spoke on, what he specifically spoke about, how it has affected the city of New York.
Issues here, but I'm wondering if you're concerned that if migrants leave because of their fears of what's going to happen, if this could adversely affect the city economy, because there'll be a loss of people working and a loss of tax income. And are you worried that will affect the city's bottom line?
Well, our city's bottom line was affected, with 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers were placed in the city without any federal assistance that was substantial. We were impacted, billions of dollars. And what Deputy Mayor Williams Isom was able to do, 170,000 have been able to go on the next step in their journey because of the proposals we put in place, including getting work authorization. The most important thing we can do for those migrants and asylum seekers that are already here in the country, who were paroled into the country, is give them work authorization. We said this over and over again. People should be allowed to work. Cities like Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, Houston.
Now, notice what he's saying. Okay, they have already been affected in New York City, and with New York City, they have already had to discontinue the funds. Okay, because further along in this press conference that was given, it was stated that by next year, summer of next year, New York will end up being $12 billion having to pay out. And it will be in the hands of the taxpayers. Why? Because according to Eric Adams' administration, they have not been receiving the federal funding that they had hoped for. And because of that, they're looking at, $12 billion being in the hands of the taxpayers in the city of New York. And to avoid that from happening by the year of 2025, the summer, coming right up, he said we had to discontinue a lot of funds. And thank you guys for coming in. And this is one of the reasons Donald Trump is like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back then. Why don't we just put it back into the state's hands anyway? Let's take the federal government out of it, because it seems like they are mishandling the funds anyway. That is what they're saying. That is what Donald Trump is basically saying. It seems like they're mishandling the funds anyway. Okay, so that is where we are right now. That is where we are. Now, I wanted to actually show another person that I had did my research on in regards to Donald Trump's nomination, and that is, one moment, please, you guys. And that is, and thank you guys for coming in. Please be patient with me. And this particular person, I have to say this. This is another person that I'm kind of wary about. I don't know why he nominated this particular gentleman, Todd. Okay, he is the nomination for the Department of Attorney General. You're going to have him as well as Matt Gaetz working hand in hand. That is wild, beyond me. Now, when it comes down to, I wanted to talk about Diddy, but I'll talk about him in a minute. I wanted to actually show the person that also Donald Trump has nominated this week. In one moment, you guys, I apologize. I will be better next time when it comes down to having my stuff ready. This gentleman right here, Dr. Oz. Donald Trump gave him the position of being head of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Now, a lot of people were very wary about Donald Trump because according to what people had thought, that Donald Trump wanted to take out the Medicare and Medicaid. Okay, that's what they thought. But see, now I'm wondering, is that the case? Because anybody that knows this particular gentleman nominated for this role of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Oz, okay, with him, he has had a complete stance on helping lower income provide services for people who cannot have, who cannot afford it. So with him, he's coming from the stance of, I want to have, the services provided for the people inappropriate for Medicare and Medicaid, which is the complete opposite. And that's what's kind of ironic, which is the complete opposite of what they thought when it came down to what they thought Donald Trump, plans were, even on this side. Now, with Dr. Oz, he does come with a bit of controversy on his end as well, because he's promoted products that are questionable, okay, and in the sense that does not hold any quote unquote real value as far as proof that this would work. These products will actually work. Case in point, back in 2020, he supported the use of lupus and arthritis drug to treat, I got to say it this way, pandemic 19. I have to say it that way, but you guys should know what I'm talking about when I say pandemic 19, okay? The C word. Also, when it comes down to Dr. Oz, he has been named in lawsuits for misleading claims on his show, okay, that he had back in from the years of quote unquote 2009 to 2022. And the show that he had was the Dr. Oz, okay, talk show. Now with him, people, I would say this. I do feel that with him being over Medicare and Medicaid, he himself has been a physician. He no longer is a heart surgeon. He discontinued that. He stopped doing it back in 2018, but he still is a licensed physician. Okay, so I'm stating that to say he does know has a bit of experience, dealing with how things are handled when it comes down to providers, spending. Okay. And I'm going to go down for you guys to actually see. Now, one thing about Dr. Oz, he has tried to be in the world of politics physically because he ran for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania, but he lost. Okay. And even with the U.S. Senate back in 2019, a panel, they did not support Dr. Oz because, like I said, a lot of people feel that he tends to promote a lot of things, a lot of products that are not of merit, I'll say it that way. Then even in 2015, he even had his own peers at the school that he is a professor or was a professor at Columbia University. They were requesting for his termination. But when it comes down to the connection with him and Donald Trump, they have been associates ever since the early 2000s. So much to the point that Donald Trump and his wife appeared on Dr. Oz's show. Now, why am I speaking of this? Because Dr. Oz, he is another one that came from Donald Trump's first administration as president. He held the position of President Council of Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. So I think when it comes down to Donald Trump, he feels like he does. It just seems to me, outside looking at it, just seems as if he is not people that he has close ties with, if that makes sense. Because in Dr. Oz's case, I'm gonna say I was shocked he picked him. He nominated him. Okay, I was shocked. But in the same way, I do feel a little bit of comfort that he did nominate Dr. Oz, because if you guys, like I stated, he has had a stand on supporting as far as Medicaid and Medicare, providing it to the rightful people, so I do feel some type of relief from that aspect. Because when it comes down to Dr. Oz, he has been an advocate for supporting, senior citizens who need, assistance, for people who low income who need assistance, right? So I can say I respect that this nomination from Donald Trump. Now, when it comes down to the Medicaid and Medicare, as far as the centers, as far as being ahead of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, I'm just going to read for you guys what their job is supposed to be. Okay, the job is for, quote unquote, to oversee Medicare, Medicaid, children's health care insurance, and the Affordable Care Act, known as the Obamacare. Now, why did I put that here? Because it is expiring in 2025. Now, people have known that Donald Trump has not been in agreement with this Obamacare, right? Now, when 2025 comes, I do feel that this particular Affordable Health Care Act won't be removed, but it will be revised. That's what I think. Why? Because of whom he has in regards to this particular position, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Oz. Now, when it comes down to this particular program, the particular department, it's the Central to Healthcare Economy. It sets Medicare payment rate for hospitals, doctors, labs, and other service providers. So Dr. Oz, he's gonna have a lot in his lap. I'll say it that way to deal with. I'll say that, but I'll say this, I have more faith. Okay. First, I have faith in God. That's the first thing. Then I have to have faith in myself. But the next, I have faith in Oz more in him than I do in this lady right here. I don't have faith in Linda, who Donald Trump has nominated for the Department of Education. I do not have faith in Linda. I do not. At all. I don't. Now, with with Dr. Oz, I will say this. He has been in close ties with Oprah Winfrey because Oprah Winfrey was the one that helped jumpstart his career on television. Okay. He started on the Oprah Winfrey show back in the 1990s. Yes, we're going he goes all the way that far back. Right. So, and the reason I'm kind of wondering on some things because Oprah Winfrey, she is an independent. And like I stated, they are kind of close ties. So this would kind of make me wonder what Dr. Oz will do since he has a bigger role in the president administration this term and this go around. Okay. And thank you guys for coming in. Candace says, does anyone have a child or other relative in Space Force? What? Deep says, oh my goodness, thank you guys for coming in. Jonathan says, Dogecoin. What are you guys talking about in here? Mrs. Shamrock says, KR, Presso Alley, I'm reading. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read. Excuse me. I don't have any issue with immigration. I have issues with illegal immigration. I completely agree. Completely agree. And thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Mr. Shamrock says, it's amazing, though, that Adams is all of a sudden terrified at being a sanctuary city. You know what? I would say this when it comes down to Eric Adams. I feel that he has a lot of other things in his lap. I think he's more scared of will he end up locked up. Okay. I'm just going to be very honest. The mayor of the city, New York, Eric Adams. That's what I really feel. And now I will move forward. Mrs. Shamrock says, New York City has made its own bed. Candace says, being sanctuary city ties Adam's hands behind his back. I think Adam has tied his own hands. I'm gonna stop. But you're right though, Candy. Because it's a sanctuary city. I mean, what can he do? You know, what can he really do? And then what people don't realize, so many people, so many undocumented immigrants have already entered New York City. So now, you know, you're right. His hands are tied, you know, because they're already there. And it's already affected the city of New York. Deep State says, I'm in Georgia, full of dirty birds. Deep State, you really from Georgia? Then you should know about Fonnie Willis. Mr. Shamrock says, Cannon, that's not how it works if there is an abundance of vacant houses. Cannon says, we have been living in a cartoon for 30 years. Now, I will move forward. I was going to talk about, I want to make sure I talk a little bit about what's been going on with Donald Trump. And if you guys are still here, please hit that one, put it in the chat. Please hit that one. I was going to actually talk about Puff Daddy, of what's been going on with him recently as of, okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Shamrock, for coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shayna. Thank you so much. I'm just making sure so I can move forward. Deep State says, I know Fonnie Willis' reputation. Now, I will finally talk about Diddy. Diddy had a whole episode. I would say that. Diddy had a whole episode this week, okay? Because based off of his attorneys, what happened on November the 18th, they raided him like how they would raid somebody's house, and Diddy is locked up. I'm like, dang, Diddy can't even get peace in the cell. I mean, think about it. They raided his home in Miami. They raided his home in Los Angeles when he was out, right? And then since he's been arrested, come to find out back on Monday, they raided his cell. And what was found? Candace says Diddy wrote a note to the judge Candy, really? You got to take it there. Mrs. Shamrock says the feds thinking they are cute and they better watch out. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because it was 3 amendments that were violated in this raid at the Metropolitan Detention Center Monday. And that was the 4th Amendment, the 5th Amendment, and the 6th Amendment. Now, according to this raid, the federal prosecutors found 19 pages of Diddy notes that were taken away on a quote-unquote pre-planned sweep. Okay, and this is what they said was the illegal. When I say they, Diddy's attorneys. This is what they said was the illegal part. Taking pictures of the legal notes and pads. Okay, and they said that this was targeted. They feel that Diddy was targeted because sweeps in jail and prison facilities are supposed to be for search of drugs. Okay, and weapons in house of search. Okay, they are not supposed to be to take pictures of what somebody writes in a notebook. Now, Diddy's defense team, they asked for indictments to be thrown out for or recuse the prosecution team altogether. The prosecutor's response to this, oh my God, thank you so much, Cannon. Thank you so much. I'm shaking. I'm shaking. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm trying to, I thank you for being so patient with me, guys. Shouts out to, thank you. Yes, lovely donation, Cannon. Shouts out to Cannon Shannon. Shouts out, and thank you, Mrs. Shamrock. Cannon says, just like your style, and thank you so much for the support. Okay, and thank you, everybody in here, all 165 of you. I commend you guys for supporting me and standing in here, being patient with me, and even more to you, Mrs. Shamrock, as well as definitely Cannon Sanders. I'm going to even pin what you said. I wish I could pin. Let me see if I can pin it. Cannon Sanders says, just like your style. Thank you so much. Fab says, scumbag. Oh, Lord, wait. Let me read the comment before I read it aloud. Fab says, I'm going to just say this. Diddy barely deserves food and water. He should have 0 rights. Now, come on now. Now, what happened to being innocent until proven guilty? But thank you so much, Cannon. I appreciate it so much. I really, really do. Now, when it comes down to the prosecutors, they allege Diddy exchanged hundreds of text messages via app called Contact Me ASAP. And I'll make sure I can turn it for you guys to read it. Contact Me ASAP, which purports to be an innovative text messaging service for federal inmates to communicate with loved ones via real-time messages, and claims to offer seamless SMS conversation. And I want to bring back what Mrs. Shamrock spoke about yesterday. I think you did, Mrs. Shamrock. You spoke about how in the filing that they did show the email to one of Diddy's sons. Okay, they're basically trying to, speculate that Diddy is not alone in this, and trying to speculate that Diddy's sons are in connection with this. And I thought about what you spoke about this before, Mrs. Shamrock. I thought about you when I found out something known as superseding indictment, because now it's coming to the place that they're trying to insinuate that maybe the federal prosecutors are trying to also gather up information to get an indictment on Diddy's sons, one of Diddy's sons. Okay. And that is why I really feel Diddy's defense team had to step in immediately and call for an emergency hearing. Mrs. Shamrock says, that's not how it works. They have to do it correctly or he walks. They cannot be, You're right. Mr. Shamrock says, yes, they are trying to tie an email address to his son so they can get wrapped up him. Exactly. That's what I thought about that, what you had said before. KR says thousands of bottles of baby oil. I knew you was going to bring it up. Oh, my God. Eli, thank you so much for the support. Eli says, P. Diddy is a grain. Oh, gosh, I'm already laughing. What you got to say, Eli? Eli says, P. Diddy is a grain. If sand on the tip of an iceberg, the monster who created him are the same ones trying to prosecute and bury him. I completely agree. I completely agree. I was trying to pin it. Dang it. I'm trying to pin it. Thank you guys for coming in. Mrs. Shamrock says, could not agree more. How could I pin this? I'm still new to this, you guys. I'm going to read it again. Eli says, P. Diddy is a grain if sand on the tip of an iceberg. The monsters who created him are the same ones trying to prosecute him and bury him. And see, I want people to understand, okay, Diddy is not in this alone, right? And it has nothing, I would say it this way, it has nothing to do with his sons. This goes back all the way to 1991. And yes, I'm taking it there, right? And this goes out to all the people, and I'll talk about that Friday, because there's still going to be a hearing for Diddy's attempt to get out. Okay? His team are still standing on Diddy getting out on a bond, and that hearing will be on Friday. Cannon says, I'm going to read what Shayna says. Shayna says, Diddy's sons were not a thought when he got involved in this. Exactly. Cannon says, how many people do you think found themselves in the middle of something? In the middle of something at Diddy's party and thought, oh, this is just like I gotta read. That's why I'm being careful reading it. I can't say the P movie. Guess what? The camera was running. Exactly. And Cannon, that's what I'm wondering. What videos? Because you guys got to understand, as part of the evidence that they're going to use in the trial May the 5th of next year, what videos do they have? Because if you guys have been watching live, I did say, and I quote, when they did those raids in Miami and Los Angeles, they did find 130 cell phones. Okay? 130 cell phones. And thank you guys for coming in. Melvin says he's going to get out. Mrs. Shamrock says the jail records about that email address can still be used in court. The records they can't use are handwritten product that they took pictures of. And that is what I'm going to pin what Miss Shamrock said. And thank you so much, Eli. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much, Cannon. Thank you so much for the support. Now, that is the ruling that the judge did give. Now, before I get to that, Ms. Shamrock, you're ahead of me. You're ahead of me. You are ahead of me. Shouts out to Mr. Shamrock. Now, when it comes down to the New York attorneys, okay, the prosecutors, they called the action a pre-planned nationwide sweep, okay? Because where Diddy is being held at, the Metropolitan Detention Center, it has made headlines because the Federal Investigation Bureau have been doing a sweep, and they have been doing an investigation at this center due to how things has been mishandled and people have been passing away. I'll say it that way. Diddy's defense team, especially Mark Agnifilo, he asked for immediate hearing, okay, demanding several questions related to this jail cell raid that was held Monday, November 18th. He asked, who authorized the search for Combs' prison cell? and decided to confiscate. Okay, I want to highlight that. Then he also asked who passed the seized items to the U.S. Attorney's Office. See, this is how people get in trouble. And when I say people get in trouble, this is how a district attorney's office get in trouble, as well as the federal, the prosecution side. Because when you do things like this, you don't have a clean case. You're already starting out wrong. Now, prosecutors shut down these allegations brought upon Diddy's team, and they detailed his bad jailhouse behavior. Okay, this is what they said. They said Diddy has had bad jailhouse behavior, much of which closely reflects the actions and coercive moves that he is accused of in the federal case filed against him, and many civil suits raining down, okay, on the alleged rap game kingpin. This is all what they're saying now, okay? They're calling him the kingpin. They're trying to make it seem as if he is just really up there, like, like he's so up there. And see, look at the wording. And see, this is one of the reasons. Now, this is just my opinion. I really think they're trying to make it seem like Diddy had something to do with Tupac and Biggie Smalls, right? I really think they're trying to expand it more than like take it there on a whole nother level, because people have to understand, if Diddy gets found guilty for all of these counts in this federal indictment that he has, they can use this against him, right? For future things. I'll say it that way, as evidence. Now, according to the prosecutor's statement, they did release a statement in regards to that raid that was held November the 18th. They said, in seeking a new hearing, the defendant rehashes the same arguments rejected by those two judges with claims of new evidence. But the defendant offers nothing new and material justifying third bail hearing. And this is what they're saying. In fact, the only truly new relevant evidence shows that the defendant has continued to engage in a relentless course of obstructive conduct. So they're basically trying to make it seem like Diddy has been just not following rules since he's been locked up. Okay, and they tried to use this notebook titled "Things to Do" that they found in his jail. And it says also these illegal actions. This is what, according to the prosecutors, they said the illegal actions of the prosecutors, according to Diddy's team. This is Diddy's team. Okay, they filed a rebuttal. Okay, asking for an emergency hearing. Why? Because they called this raid foul. They call it foul on the prosecutors for seizing what they say is attorney-client privilege material. His handwritten notes about his defense witnesses and thoughts on legal strategies for his looming trial were among what was taken away. But see, this is my thing, and I'm going to go down. Now, this is the attorney, Mark Agnifilo. He is the lead attorney for Diddy's four attorneys I call the Dream Team. Okay, in his statement, in the filing of his emergency request for a hearing yesterday, he said this search and seizure are in violation of 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment. Moreover, the targeted seizure of a pre-trial detainee's work product and privileged materials created in preparation for a trial is outrageous government conduct amounting to a substantive due process violation. Because the prosecutors are currently in possession of privileged material and are actively using this material to detain the defendant, the defense requests an immediate hearing. This is an emergent matter because government has Mr. Combs' privileged notes to his lawyers concerning defense witnesses and defense strategies. Now, this is the statement that Mark Agnifilo had sent to the judge that is supposed to be hearing this trial, okay? And this is Judge Arun. Now, with this emergency hearing that was held yesterday, that is why I pinned what Mrs. Shamrock had stated ahead of time. Mrs. Shamrock, you be on it. The judge did ask questions during this hearing yesterday. And the prosecutors, they seemed like they did not know what to say. Okay, they didn't have a reason. The judge asked, "Is it normal for pictures to be taken of legal notes?" The prosecutors yesterday responded, "I don't know, and they are not required to let the defendant know they are currently being investigated while incarcerated." You see the response? Do you see how the prosecutors are coming? The federal prosecutors are coming. They were caught wrong, being in the wrong. But their response for taking pictures of of Diddy's notes, right? Their response was, "Well, I don't know. And for the record, we don't have to tell him. We don't have to tell him he's being investigated while he's locked up." That's the energy that they're giving Diddy right now. And Judge Arun's response was preparation for Friday, that the info that was found during the raid can't be discussed as argument on Friday. Judge Arun, yesterday, ordered federal prosecutors to destroy 19 pages that were taken during the raid at Metropolitan Detention Center. The judge stated the government should not be in possession of 19 pages. Now, how is all this coming about? Because now people are really wondering, are the feds watching Diddy's sons? And I told you guys this. If you guys go back into my lives, my previous lives, I told you guys. I knew. And that is why I stated, I hope Diddy's sons stay out of these streets. Stay out of trouble. Okay? Because the last time I did my report on Diddy's sons, they were in an altercation with Brandy's brother, where they actually circled Brandy's brother in a parking lot garage, okay, after a Halloween party. All because why? Allegedly, they didn't like what Rachel has been saying in the media about their father. Really? And look what's going on. Critics are already suggesting superseding indictment in regards to next indicting his son. Which son? Which one? Could it be one of them or all of them? And thank you guys for coming. I'm going to go back into the comments. Please hit the like button. I appreciate you guys, showing the support and staying in. Mrs. Shamrock says the jail records about the email address can still be used in court. The records they can't use are handwritten. Yes, exactly. Handwritten product that they took pictures of. Keita says, at Tina, hold on. Oh, Lord, I just laughing so hard. What did Tina say? And thank you guys for coming in. I'm reading the chat. Melvin says, my barber said yesterday, cutting my hair, he's going to get out. He's going. Okay, and that's what I want to make sure. I'm going to come, we're going to go back, review everything Friday. I'm going to try to come in a little bit more early, maybe around 6:30, because Friday will be the infamous day. Now, I will do another live. I'm not going to lie. I'm coming back Thursday tomorrow. But Friday will be the day we will do a full review of Diddy, right? Because Friday is the same day that this judge, I'm going to show you guys, this judge will make a decision on whether or not Diddy will bond out. Will Diddy's fourth attempt request to bond out of this mess, okay, will the judge actually allow it? right? Because we have to understand. I'm gonna be honest. Based off of what's going on, I don't know if Diddy's gonna be free, even when he's out, because he's still gonna have to go back for the trial in May. I don't think he's going to be found not guilty on all charges. That's going to be hard to beat, especially we're going to do a full review on Friday about this. Okay, a full, thorough review on this. And Mrs. Shamrock says, sorry, girl, I get animated too. Look, I understand. Look, Mrs. Shamrock, I appreciate you when you come. Look, say what you want. If you want to say it early, go ahead, Mrs. Shamrock. Because just like I stated in my community, on my community channel on this page, I stated, and I quote, without the subscribers, there would not be a politic ground. And that's just being honest. That would not be a channel if it's not for you guys. So, it's all respect. Brian says Diddy is innocent. Brian, are you serious? So Brian, you believe all the way Diddy is completely innocent. Melvin says Trump going to get him out. And that is one thing people are really speculating right now, because my whole thing is, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Deep State says Diddy ain't getting out. Diddy did it. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Mrs. Shamrock says there is zero way that Trump is going to let him out. Deep State says, thank you, Sham. GT, hello, GT. GT says, bros on to nothing. Mrs. Shamrock says, I think they are looking at everything in his life. Yes, I absolutely believe that. Why? Because you guys have been watching my lives, and we're going to do a full review for anybody who's new. We're going to have a Diddy documentary on this platform on Friday, a full Diddy review, okay? And I want people to understand, when it comes down to what's been going on, exactly what Miss Shamrock said. They have been looking at everything in his life. Mrs. Shamrock says, Deep State, you're welcome. I needed to clear that up. Sarah, hello, Sarah. Sarah says, girl, there is no conspiracy. If they find him guilty, he's going down for life. Job done. Sarah, welcome, Sarah. Sarah's right. Let me pin what you said, Sarah. Let me pin what you said, Sarah. And thank you guys for coming in. Deep State says, Diddy, yes, he did. Candace says, TMZ in charge of this prosecution. Candace, I am so glad that you mentioned that, because you know what? One thing I can say about TMZ, I wish, you know what? TMZ, they be on it. They be on it sometimes, most of the times. I say 90% of the time, they be on it. But you know what I wish about TMZ? I would love for them to subpoena TMZ to take that stand, because TMZ, they have been doing documentaries on Tubi. They have been doing documentaries. They have been interviewing witnesses, okay? Witnesses speaking about these all-white Diddy parties and freak-offs, okay? They have been doing all these interviews. I would love to have them get subpoenaed and really show where they get their information from. Okay, TMZ. Because like I said, TMZ be on it 90% of the time. Deep State says, laughing my off with Cannon. Shayna says, did he do it? Yes, he did. Oh my goodness. Shamrock says, Diddy hasn't been following rules while locked up. They could have used what they legally obtained. Exactly. That's why I don't understand. Why did they take a picture? That didn't make sense. They have so much evidence. They don't need that. They didn't need that. Going this route, Mrs. Shamrock says, going this route was not the smartest choice. It left too much to be argued. It did. Candace says, pay me $1 million and I'll shut up. Candace, you know what, at this point, okay, and I'm not finna say no names, but pay me $30 million and I'll shut up. Mrs. Shamrock, Mrs. Shamrock says, Diddy has excellent counsel. They know all the ins and outs. They will seize on anything they think can get a mistrial. That's why this was dumb. And this is why I feel like, I thought the federal prosecutors was going to be better than this. But this is showing, I'm just going to be honest, this showing a little weak. This is showing the weak side. Okay? And this is showing what might come May the 5th. Because people have to understand, Diddy was in a similar or worse situation years ago, right? When he actually had Johnny Cochran representing him. And he put the blame on Shine, right? He put the blame on Shine to the point Shine, the former rapper, he ended up having to serve 10 years in prison and get sent back to his country, Belize. Okay? So, I'm just saying, okay, if the federal prosecutors don't get their stuff together, they're gonna be very disappointed at how Diddy's dream team. That's what I call Diddy's team, the dream team, because he has attorneys that are very experienced. Mrs. Shamrock says they don't have to tell him, but they do have to follow the law in evidence collection. Cannon says lawyers in Los Angeles look like ants at a picnic defending high recognition party goers. Cannon says if DiCaprio, oh no, please don't mention DiCaprio. You know what? Leonardo DiCaprio has been very quiet. He's been very quiet, and I'm going to take notes because we're going to talk about some of these topics that I'm reading in these comments, and Leonardo DiCaprio is one of them. Okay, because he's been very, very quiet. Cannon says if Leonardo DiCaprio returns from Italy on his own, violation will say something. Narendra says set Diddy free. Oh no, Narendra, I know you play. Mrs. Shamrock says they watching everybody. They are. And you know what? Speaking of that, I really believe this. Now, you guys can call me as conspiracists. That's why anytime I do a live, what do I always say before I do a live? If anybody has been watching this, one thing I always do before I say anything, what I say? Fair use. I read the fair use copyright disclaimer, right? Because it's just like Mrs. Shamrock said it best. They're watching everybody. And I really believe they also watch what you put online and who's putting it online, right? Because look what happened to these witnesses. Witnesses have been going online, doing interviews with YouTube content creators, doing interviews with multiple media platforms, different networks, and now they have been subpoenaed to be in this trial. So that's why for me to cover myself, I don't want to be, I'm going to show the person. I don't want to be this person. I'm going to actually show you guys. I do not want to be this particular person. I short Friday. I don't want to be, like I stated, I don't want to be this person right here. I don't want to be I don't want to be one of the witnesses that have been doing interviews, okay? Multiple interviews. I'll show it to you guys. I'll show it to you guys on the next live. I don't want to be a witness that has been doing multiple interviews and then come to find out I'm going to end up, quote unquote, in a Diddy case. And see, that is what's going on right now. People are being subpoenaed. People's homes are being raided. And I'm not just talking about what has happened to Diddy. Yes, we also have witnesses whose homes have been raided, who has been subpoenaed to attend grand jury hearing, who has been subpoenaed to now be part of the trial itself as a witness for the prosecutor. Okay? So this is why I want people to understand when it comes to stuff like this, everybody is watching, and I completely agree. Candace says, yes, everybody is watching. Mrs. Shamrock says, and now Ray J is everywhere on social media. Yes, Ray J. I don't know if Ray J is going through things. I think we all go through things. I want to be very careful when I say that. But if people know the things that Ray J has been coming out with, and I'm going to play a quick little clip of Ray J, if I can find it before I go, of Ray J. I think Ray J is going through things right now. My personal opinion. When I say going through things, if you know, you know. I'm saying it very lightly, based off of the things that he has recently said, okay, and recently done and did. I think he's going through some things, and I think people are taking advantage of him. Okay, because when people know you are going through some stuff, they take you as weak and they try to take advantage of you. And I think in Ray J's case, in this particular point, I think he's being taken advantage of. Okay, and I'll talk more about Ray J because I have to do a full breakdown on Ray J. Ray J has done so much. I'm going to show this quick little clip that he has done with TMZ. Okay, and that was one of the reasons Diddy's sons were very upset with Ray J, because they thought Ray J was, close to Diddy, right? And they felt betrayed, allegedly that Ray J has betrayed Diddy and his family by going onto media outlets and quote unquote talking too much. And I'm gonna just play this particular clip, and this is fair use.
I was at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs.
You saw celebrities there that you recognized.
There was a rapper that we all know.
I'm hearing about paying victims to keep their name out of it.
They were high off something.
Do you know people who have paid off to keep this quiet?
I think I said too much.
Do you know people who have paid off to keep this quiet?
I think I said too much.
And see, I think Ray J has said too much. And I think if Ray J continues to go out here and do these interviews, okay, he's going to be next on the witness list, okay? And based off the interviews that he has done, I don't know if Ray J is ready to be, on the witness stand. I'll say it that way. I don't know if he's ready to be on the witness stand. And I'm going to go back to the comments. Narendra says, you have seen Free Willy, now coming to this fall, Free Diddy. Mrs. Shamrock says, do a poll. Mrs. Shamrock says, nope, he is never going to see the light of day as a free man again. Narendra says, Mrs. Shamrock says, no. Sarah says, he ain't getting out because he's been intimidating witnesses. He ain't getting out. Jeremiah says, Diddy getting caught trying to intimidate his victims probably means they are victims. Cannon says, is Diddy going to get bonded out for one? Yes. Two or no? Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to pin what Cannon said. And Mrs. Shamrock, I'm going to do that poll because I should have did it earlier. I should have did Diddy first. But I would do that poll like I stated Friday. That's going to be a Diddy. That's going to be a Diddy live because we're going to do Diddy first. And that's going to be where we review everything that we have discussed about, okay? And I'm going to put in Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm just going to give a little, some things such as Leonardo DiCaprio and other additional things such as Ray J, okay? Because I do think Ray J is going through some things right now. I I really do. I'll just say it that way. I think he's going through some things, and I think that the media is not helping, okay, by actually inviting him to their platform to do interviews, and they know that he's going through some stuff. Deep State says recorded himself doing it. Candace says, what if the video show everyone but Diddy? Now, I would say this. I think the videos that are out there, okay, it does have celebrities, but I just hope that none of these videos get out like how these R. Kelly videos has been leaked out. And I'll just leave it at that. Deep State says, did he go into in prison because folks don't like, whoa. Now, Deep State, you took it on a whole other level. You took it on a whole other level. Because if that's the case, we're going to say that for R. Kelly too. Narendra says, Deep State, that's conspiracy. Diddy is an outstanding citizen. Narendra, I'm going to get you. Angel says, Trump getting Diddy out. Deep State says, they going to run one up in... Mr. Shamrock says, Harvey Levin has been a LA lawyer for 40 years. Yes, Harvey knows everyone. I completely agree. He knows, and that is why nobody's really coming for TMZ like that. But like I stated, I wish they would subpoena TMZ, because TMZ knows, like you said, Mrs. Shamrock, Harvey knows a lot of things. And yes, I do. I read the fair use at all times before I start the live. And Jay, hello Jay, thank you for coming in, Jay. Josh, you coming in? Thank you so much. Deep State says, laughing. What did Sarah say? Sarah says, wonder who did Diddy first. Oh my goodness, Sarah. Sarah, I'm gonna give you Sarah, you a trip. I can't even repeat that, what you just said. Deep State says, Cannon, I take your point about everyone, but him on a video. I'm talking about with Bieber. See, Deep State, what you're talking about, I think you're new to the channel, but I'm going to talk about the next live, because I have spoken about that. I have showed pictures. You guys have missed it. I will show. We're going to have a full Diddy review on Friday. Why? Because Friday will be the day. Friday, yes, will be the day. If Diddy stays in or if he gets out, that will be the day that judge that we are talking about, this judge right here, Judge Arun, will make a decision. Baran says, make America great again. Make America safe again. Make America wealthy again. Make homie great again. And Baron, thank you for coming in. But here's my question. Do you think Trump is going to make Diddy great again? And thank you guys for coming in. And I want to give a shout out because I will return tomorrow. But as you guys know, I always end the live with motivational readings. But before I go, I want to give a special shout out to Mrs. Shamrock, to Cannon Sanders, I got to give a special shout out to Eli, to Narendra, to Deep State, and thank you guys to Sarah Davis. Thank you guys to Jay. Thank you guys for coming in and always supporting. Hey, Ruck, thank you for coming in. I miss you coming in. Ruck says, stop to drop love and thumbs up. Been up moderating 9 hours. Need sleep. Hope you all are well. Thank you so much, Ruck. Wow, 9 hours. Thank you so much. You are always supportive. And thank you guys for coming in and showing the support. Shout out to Susan. Susan earlier in the live. Shout out to KR. Shout out to Deep State. I want to make sure I give out my shout outs before I go. Want to make sure I have shout out to Jacob. Shout out to, let me go. I'm trying to go up, you guys. Thank you for being patient. Shout out to everybody in this live. I appreciate the love and support. Shout out to you guys. And like I stated, I will be back tomorrow morning. And yes, shout out to Nicholas Canada. Peace so much. Mrs. Shamrock says, politic. Have you seen the videos of YouTubers being approached by private investigators? What? Mrs. Shamrock, don't scare me like that. Mrs. Shamrock, wait a minute. Hold up. Whoa. Wait a minute. Mrs. Shamrock, wait a minute. Before we go. What? Mrs. Shamrock says, politic. Wait. I made my screen turn black. Wait a minute. She says, politic. Have you seen the videos of YouTubers being approached by private investigators asking questions about Diddy coverage? Been happening over the last several days? You know what? No, I haven't, Mrs. Shamrock. You have scared me to, you know what? I'm just going to take notes. We're going to talk about this. Oh, my goodness. Private investigators. Oh, my goodness. Are you serious? Asking, oh, my goodness. Asking YouTubers questions about Diddy. I'm writing this down as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. Because I am definitely going to do my research because Mrs. Shamrock, oh my goodness, you have really scared me. Just now, I'm scared. I'm scared. Deep State says, right on, I appreciate your perception. Thank you so much. And I truly have the utmost respect for you guys. Thank you. And shout out to Art of War. Much love. Shout out to you, Art of War. Mrs. Shamrock says, check YouTube. There are videos. I absolutely will. And shout out to you. And Nicholas says, I heard about that. Really? Oh my goodness. We're definitely gonna do, yes, we're definitely gonna talk about that. Yes. Yes, we will. Mrs. Shamrock says, check out that surprise witness video last night. The surprise witness video? Whoa. I am taking notes. I'm taking notes. Mrs. Shamrock says she has video of whoa. You will, whoa. Thank you so much. And Mrs. Shamrock, I will reach out to you. Let me see if I can, because I've been trying to find, hold on. Can I do it? I can't do it on here. Let me see if I can. I'll do it after the live. I was trying to actually see because it's like I try to reach out to, people in the live. Okay. I'm not saying people names. I've been having issues. But let me move forward. Sorry about that. Miss Nicholas says they were asking if they were taking money to speak negatively on him and offering a counter. What? To speak positive? Whoa. Mr. Shamrock says, just so you know, can watch out for yourself. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Mr. Shamrock. Whoa. Woo, Lord. Wow. Woo. Let me read the positive notes. Oh my goodness. I appreciate it though, Mr. Shamrock. That was heavy at the end. Woo, that was some heavy work. Thank you so much. Woo. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Art of Work. Art of War. See, I'm losing my words. Shout out to Art of War. Shout out to Cannon Sanders. Shout out to Eli. And thank you guys so much, okay, for the support. Okay, I appreciate it so much. And as always, I end my lives with positivity. The first thing you almost always tell yourself, eliminate the if, focus on the present, focus on self and not on others. Always tell yourself, I will learn something new every day. I will not get upset at what I don't have control of. And also advocate for yourself and speak up. Why? Because if you don't, who else will? And according to what? Yes, Jay Josh, you got it. Too late. Jay, no. Jay. I will be back, okay? Just since you got here too late. Oh, God. Deep State says, amen. Yes, amen. note, thank you so much, you guys. Big hugs, and you guys always make my day. You really do. You make my day and make my week. And on that note, I will be back tomorrow between the time of 6 a.m. Eastern time and 7-ish a.m. Eastern time when I will start the live. Give me grace. Everything that you see on my page, I do this by myself. I repeat, I do this by myself. So give me some grace, guys, please. And also, please try to, Jay, if you can you can replay this video to help me. Okay, that's one thing I want people to understand. You help us, by even just replaying, the videos. If you come in late or not, replay this live, show the support, put in the comments after this live. Do you think Diddy is getting out Friday? And shouts out to I Am Jacob. Yes, blessings. Jacob says blessings, Politic Graham. And Jay says, yes, thank you so much, Jay Jocks. Please do that, okay? And Mrs. Shamrock says, I'm still here. Deep State says, I'll not forget my manners next time. Jay Jocks says, no. Jay, you don't think Diddy getting out? But on that note, thank you so much, guys. I love you. Much support. And always remember, have a peace of mind and always have peace. This is Politic Graham. Bye.